Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Hard Count podcast. And today we're going to be going over my Week 6 pick'em. We've got some good games this week. Week 5, we didn't have too many, but this week we've got some important games. They're going to tell us a lot about some teams. Let's get right into it with my picks, my score predictions. First game, Sunday. There's no Thursday night football this week because of the Tuesday night game where the Titans beat the Bills. But we're talking about the Titans here playing the Texans at home. And I'm taking the Titans to win 26-24. And I think this game's going to be closer than some people might think. I think there's an overreaction to that Tuesday night game I just talked about where the Titans played very, very well. I'm not going to forget about those first 3 weeks where they struggled to really move the ball against some worse teams. It was an impressive win. I was definitely impressed. But Houston also impressed me. They got their first win of the season, and against the Jaguars, I think they finally got their momentum back. Deshaun Watson looks great in that game. I think he's going to come out here playing very well. Should be a very fun matchup in the AFC South. It's an in-division game. I think it's going to be very competitive. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a very fun game. I've got Titans winning here by 2, but I could see it going either way. I like both quarterbacks, but Deshaun Watson is a top 5 quarterback to me, and it should be a fun game. All right. Next, we've got the Bengals at the Colts, and I'm taking the Colts to win 27-22. I actually like the Bengals to cover the spread of 8 here. I like Joe Burrow quite a bit, and I have a theory, me and Into Sports, Evan have a theory that dink and dunk teams like the Bengals are going to be able to move the ball much better against teams that play zone much more frequently, such as the Colts. So I think we could see that come into play in this game, as the Bengals are a team that likes to play in the short to intermediate passing game as Joe Burrow. That is his strength for sure. He's been very good in that area. Now, I do think that the Colts defense is going to take a little bit of what we saw last week from Baltimore, really going after and blitzing Joe Burrow, making him uncomfortable. The offense really struggled because that offensive line is not good whatsoever. That was exposed against Baltimore last week. Now, I will say this Colts offense has not impressed me because they can beat themselves. Phillip Rivers turns the ball over a lot despite the fact that he's not getting sacked. So I think that we could see some turnovers for the Bengals defense that actually impressed me last week. So I think that this game is interesting. I think the Colts overall are just a better team with a better defense and overall a better offense as well at the moment. So yeah, I've got the Colts winning this one 27-22. I think it could be a closer game than some might think though. Next, we've got the Falcons at the Vikings, an 0-5 team versus a 1-4 team. And I'm taking the Vikings to win here in a high-scoring game, 31-27. And I have been buying this Vikings team stock. I think it's a better team than 1-4. This offense is very good. It's been able to move the ball. They almost beat Seattle last week, who was number 4 on my power rankings this week. And I really like the way this offense is heading. Justin Jefferson had a down week last week. I can expect him to bounce back here against a bad Falcons secondary. And I think that this Vikings offense is going to be able to move the ball very, very well. The Vikings defense has been getting back on track as well. We saw that in the first half of the Seahawks game. But this Falcons team, they just fired their head coach. We will see how it affects them. I'm not predicting it really affects this game too much. But what do we know? There's 2 very good offenses. But this Falcons offense has looked a bit stagnant in the past couple weeks, putting up 16 points in their last 2 matchups, which is not good, especially when your defense cannot stop anyone at all. So I think this Vikings team is going to be able to move the ball pretty well against this Falcons defense. And this Falcons offense might be able to move it pretty well against this Vikings defense as well, but I'm not certain of that. So I like the Vikings to win here. I am buying their stock. The Falcons are a train wreck this year. So yeah, I've got Vikings winning 31-27. Next, we've got the Broncos at the Patriots. And I've got the Patriots winning here 27-19. We know this game was postponed 1 week. Supposed to be played last week, and I would have picked the Patriots last week as well. Cam Newton is back. He's going to be playing in this game, which is very good for the Patriots because we know that offense did not look the same with Brian Hoyer or Jarrett Stidham. Cam Newton has thus far played like a top 10 quarterback in the NFL when he is on the field. And The Broncos do get Drew Lock back, and that is very exciting. I had the Broncos as a team that's going to overachieve expectations, but I did say their success is a lot Drew Lock dependent if he can come out and play well. With the talent that I know he has, this Broncos offense is going to be very good. But in that week 1 where he played, he did not look so sharp. So we will see in this game. It should be an interesting game in terms of that storyline. But we know Belichick does such a good job against young quarterbacks, giving them things that they've never seen before. Really locking down this Patriots defense has looked very good. So I think that the Broncos offense comes out and struggles. I think that the Patriots, that offense returns to form, what we saw the first few weeks of the season. So yeah, I've got Patriots winning here 27-19. Next, we've got the Washington football team at the New York Giants. Two of the worst teams in the NFL. I've got these teams at 30 and 31 in my power rankings, and somehow this game still has playoff implications, as these two teams combined have about a 12% chance to make the playoffs, which is crazy. These two teams are terrible, but this game could have some sneaky playoff implications. You never know. I've got the Giants winning here 23-20. I said this in my power rankings. I think that the offense is a little better. It's a little more competent than the Washington offense, because that offense is a mess. They don't have an identity. They don't know who their quarterback's going to be. Kyle Allen, I think, should be the starter. That offensive line is terrible. They really have one playmaker on that offense in Terry McLaurin. So I don't think the offense is going to be able to move the ball, especially against this Giants defense, which isn't good, but it's been able to get things together just a little bit, which Joe Judge has done a good job doing. So yeah, I like the Giants to win this game because I think they're going to be able to move the ball better on offense, just slightly better than the Washington football team will be able to. Next, we've got the Ravens at the Eagles, and I don't think this is going to be very close. I've got the Ravens winning here 30-19, and I just talked about how the Ravens just pressured Joe Burrow like crazy the entire game because that bad offensive line, they took advantage of it. They're going to do the same here against a beat-up Eagles offensive line. Carson Wentz is going to be under pressure the entire game. That offense is going to be uncomfortable. They're going to be missing a lot of their guys on that offense against one of the probably the best defense in the NFL at the moment. Patrick Queen has fit very well into that defense. Their secondary is great. They're also able to get pressure with their front line, which much more than they were able to last year, which is very good. The addition of Calais Campbell has helped. So I think that Carson Wentz is going to be under pressure all game. Now, the Eagles defense has been good as well. Fletcher Cox has been great, as always. And the Eagles, the back end of that defense has not been great. I think we see Lamar Jackson, Hollywood, have a big game in this one. I'm saying it right here. I predict him to have at least a touchdown, maybe 2. He's going to go for almost 100 yards. So I think he's going to have a big game for Hollywood. I've got Ravens putting up 30 points here against the Eagles. I just don't think Carson Wentz is going to be able to overcome that pressure that Martindale is going to be putting on him all game. Next, we've got an AFC North matchup in the Browns at the Steelers. Now, I'm taking the Steelers to win here 27-21. And I believe that the Browns game against the Colts is going to be similar to this game, except for the Steelers' offense is much better, and the Steelers' offense is not going to beat themselves like the Colts' offense did last week. So I've got Steelers winning, again, 27-21. This defense is going to make Baker Mayfield uncomfortable. That's why I like the Colts to win last week. They did make Baker Mayfield uncomfortable. Baker has not impressed me this year, and I think that the Browns should have lost that game if it weren't for a lot of mistakes by that Colts team, which the Steelers team, which is very well coached, got a veteran quarterback in Big Ben that doesn't turn the ball over nearly as much as Phillip Rivers does, is going to be able to run the offense much better. Baker is going to be uncomfortable all game with this very good pass rush of the Steelers. TJ Watt's going to be all over Baker Mayfield. So this Browns offense is going to be uncomfortable. It's not going to get in its rhythm, while the Steelers offense is going to do enough like it has done all year. And I think this offense, it's looking pretty good. We saw Chase Claypool break out last week. So I think that the offense is finally catching up to the defense. So yeah, I like the Steelers team a lot, and I think they're going to make the Browns uncomfortable. I've got them winning here 27-21. Next, we've got the Bears at the Panthers, and this is a fascinating game to me because these two teams, if you told me that the Bears were going to be 4-1 and the Panthers were going to be 3-2 after 5 weeks, I would tell you you were crazy at the start of the season. And what's even crazier is either the Bears are coming out of this game 5-1 or the Panthers are coming out of it 4-2. So we'll see, but I've got the Panthers winning this one 24-23. I think it's almost a coin flip game for me. I'm taking the Panthers because they've looked better, more impressive to me over the past couple weeks. Their offense has been able to move the ball very well, and I cannot say the same about that Bears offense, which really, their quarterback is not good whatsoever. Nick Foles, as I said in my power rankings, will make a couple more plays throughout the game that can be the difference in the game than Mitch Trubisky would make. So I think Foles is the right option for the Bears, but this Panthers offense with Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, Mike Davis has been playing very, very well, and Teddy Bridgewater has ran it very well as well, has been dangerous. I think they're going to be able to move the ball against a good Bears defense, and I think the Bears defense is going to limit this offense as well. That's why I only have the Panthers scoring 24, and I think the Bears are going to be able to keep up slightly, but I like the Panthers to win in a coin flip game against the Bears because I think they're going to be. I have a little more confidence in Teddy Bridgewater in that offense than I do with Nick Foles in that Bears offense. Despite the defense being better for the Bears, I still like the Panthers to win here 24-23 in a very close game. Next, we've got the Lions at the Jaguars, and I've got the Lions winning here 26-20. I keep moving the Jaguars down consistently on my power rankings. My perception of them has gone down every week since, week 1 of the season where they beat the Colts surprisingly. And the Lions, to me, they haven't looked great in the past couple weeks, but I've said this. I think they're going to bounce back. I expect the Lions to continually move up my power rankings in future weeks. I like Matthew Stafford a lot. I like the talent on that offense quite a bit. I'm not a big fan of the coaching staff, but I did think at the start of the season, this Lions defense would take a couple weeks to get things together, and I think we're getting that point. We're going to see it get together. Jeff Okudah, coming out as a rookie, I think it was going to struggle the first couple games. As he did, he's going to start putting things together. There's a reason he was drafted so highly. And a lot of the new guys they picked up in the offseason, too. It's going to take them some time to get adjusted into this defensive system, which I'm not a huge fan of. But once all the guys are healthy, I think it could be a little bit of a better defense. I think we're going to see improvement in that area. This offense, I think, is going to get things together as well. So I like the Lions. I think they're going to be on an upward path for the rest of the season. And it starts here in a game where they can win, definitely, against a Jaguars team that is trending down. So once again, I've got Lions winning 26-20 in that game. Next, we've got the Jets at the Dolphins, and I was talking about this with Injury Sports earlier. It's crazy how bad the Jets are because last year the Dolphins were 5-point underdogs against the Jets in the same matchup, but this time around they're 10-point favorites. I've got them winning here 30-17. This Dolphins team is on a steady rise in my rankings and in my perception of them. Their offense has looked great. Fitzpatrick has done a very good job. He's keeping his job for now over 2, and I think, honestly, it's the right decision right now with how hot this Dolphins team is. I think they have a chance at making the playoffs to keep him in there running that offense behind a bad offensive line that I think Tua might struggle a little bit with. I think we look at that compared to the Jets offense, which is terrible. They need to fire Adam Gase. I don't think I have too much explaining to do. I think the Dolphins come out. They're able to move the ball very well against a Jets defense that is probably one of the worst in the NFL. And this Jets offense is not going to be able to move the ball against a well-coached Dolphins defense, which has some talent on it. So yeah, I like the Dolphins to come out and get an easy win, stay rolling against the Jets. Next, we've got the game of the week, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people's opinion, the Packers at the Buccaneers. And the story in this one is Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady, two of the all-time greats. You may say one is better, you may say the other is better. I don't really know. I can't give you an answer for that one, but I will say I'm picking the Buccaneers to win here. I'm going all in. I like the Buccaneers to win this one. And yes, the Packers are coming off a bye, but the Buccaneers are coming off a mini bye. They played on Thursday night. That feels like an eternity ago at this point. But I don't think that bye gives the Packers as much of an advantage as it would if the Buccaneers played on Sunday or even Monday. So I like the Buccaneers to win here because the Packers offense, it has looked very, very good, but this is the first time all year they've played a really solid defense in the Buccaneers, which I think is a top 5 defense in the NFL. We look at it, they play Falcons defense, Vikings defense, Lions defense. The best defense they've faced is the Saints, which first couple weeks of the season really, really struggled, and that was an injured, banged up Saints defense. And I'm not saying this Packers offense is not good because I know it is elite. Aaron Rodgers has played really well, but we'll see how it plays out against a much better defense in the Buccaneers, as well as the fact that the Packers defense is not good either. I know Jair Alexander has played well. The pressure that they're able to get from the defensive line is sometimes there. The Packers defense is not terrible, but it has not impressed me at all this season. But the Buccaneers, they come in here after a loss, and they know this is a big game. Tom Brady shines in the moment. So does Aaron Rodgers. This is going to be a very fun game. I got the Buccaneers winning by 1 point. They're finally going to get Chris Godwin back and Scotty Miller. A lot of their receiving weapons are going to be back. I think this offense is going to be clicking on all cylinders. And I think the Packers are going to struggle a little bit more to move the ball this week. I think it's going to be a very close game. I could see it going either way, but I'm taking Tom Brady and his Buccaneers that are fully healthy with a very good defense over the Packers offense, which I think is better than the Buccaneers, but I think the defense is a big concern for me. All right, next we've got the Rams at the 49ers, and I'm taking the Rams at 28-23. I'm going into the 49ers place and beating them. I told you guys earlier today on my Instagram that I'm selling my 49ers stock. I think a lot of people are hesitant to drop them down. I know we saw what they could do against the Giants, but it's the Giants. Come on, I'm not going to put too much credibility into one win against the Giants, and their other one was against the Jets. So I have not been impressed by this 49ers team at all. Their quarterback situation is not looking good. Jimmy Garoppolo was benched last game. I think this team is dealing with a little bit of dysfunction right now. I still like their head coach quite a bit, but their defense has regressed from last year. I think that's hurting them a lot, and the offense has not looked good either. So there's a lot of red flags for me with the 49ers. The Rams, on the other hand, they know what they are. They don't have any of those identity issues right now. Their defense looks decent to good, and their offense, it's good in play action. McVay has done a great job with that offense. Goff has done a pretty good job this year, and we know they have the weapons as well. So I like this Rams team. I told you they were a top 10 team. They're my number 10 team in my power rankings versus a team that I dropped all the way down to in the 20s in the 49ers. I like the Rams to come out here and keep rolling, move to 5-1. The 49ers, they got to figure things out soon. Could happen in this game. I'm not saying it won't. I'm not saying it will. But right now, from what I've seen from both these teams, I like the Rams to win here 28-23. Next, we've got probably the second best game of the week, second most anticipated game this week. The Chiefs at the Bills. This is a very fun one. Two of the best teams in the AFC at the moment going at it. And I've got the Chiefs winning big here, 34-26. Both these teams, I think, are going to be wanting bounce-back weeks. We know the Bills got beaten embarrassingly by the Titans last Tuesday, and the Chiefs, they were beaten embarrassingly by the Raiders on Sunday. I mean, you give the Chiefs a little bit of an extra week. They may have been looking ahead at the Bills when they were playing. I think that may have been the reason, a part of the reason that the Raiders were able to come out and have so much success. But I think it's going to be a very fun game. I got a lot of points being scored. 34-26 is a very high-scoring game. But I like Mahomes over Josh Allen. Josh Allen has been playing very, very well, but I trust in Mahomes not to make that dumb play that Josh Allen tends to make throughout the game. And to me, that could be the difference in the game. But I overall just like the Chiefs roster. I think it's more talented. I think the defense gets back on track here. Both these defenses have not impressed me at all. Part of the reason I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. But I like Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, not Sammy Watkins this week. That's another thing to mention. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I like them to come out here and beat this Bills team. It'll be a fun one for sure. If the Bills come out and win this game, I would be very impressed. We'll see. But I like the Chiefs to win here 34-26 in Buffalo. Next, we've got the Cardinals at the Cowboys, and I know this game might not seem too interesting, but it's very interesting to me. I've got a lot of things that I'm excited to see in this one, and I think we'll start with the big thing. Dak Prescott went down last week against the Giants with an injury to the ankle. Hopefully he's doing okay, but we get to see Andy Dalton in his first full game with the Cowboys. And I'm wondering how much of a downgrade that really is. I mean, Andy Dalton, when we've seen him with good surroundings in the past, has been a pretty solid quarterback for those Bengals teams. So that is a very interesting storyline for this game. How is Andy Dalton going to operate this Cowboys offense? And how is this Cowboys team going to rally around Andy Dalton as opposed to Dak, who we know is one of the best leaders in the NFL? So that is a very interesting thing. I'm excited to see. I got the Cowboys putting up 24, but I got them losing by 3 to the Cardinals, who I put out the teams that I'm buying their stock and selling their stock. And the Cardinals were a team that I am buying their stock on. Right now, they have not looked too great. They got a win last week at the Jets, where I thought that was their bounce back game. That was the break they needed. That was where they needed to get back on track in that winning record. And I think it keeps up here against the Cowboys. They're going to tear up this secondary. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins is going to have a big game in this game. I think Kyler Murray comes out. Cliff Kingsbury comes out with a good game plan. They're going to tear up this Cowboys defense. Should be a very fun one. I like this. I like the Cardinals to bounce back here. A very talented offense that we just need to see some more drive-in, drive-out consistency from. I'd like to see some more consistency from Kyler Murray as well, hitting all of the easy throws and not missing as many throws, which has been a struggle for him throughout his NFL career, but I think I've seen it from him. I know he can do it. I'd like to see it, and I think we're going to start seeing it in this Cowboys game. So yeah, again, I think it'll be interesting to watch Andy Dalton come in and take over this Cowboys offense, but right now, I expect the Cardinals to keep up after that win they had against the Jets and roll over the Cowboys this week, 27-24. All right, those are my Week 6 NFL predictions and score predictions. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe. As always, hope you enjoyed. Until next time, peace.